Alright, we're going to start with a sound test. 1, 2, 3. I don't know how well this is picking up. That's a little bit of distance away from me so I can be in frame. I had to get everything just right. I feel really bad that I haven't made a video. I signed up for a YouTube account, Facebook account, all that jazz, got a website going, and constantly I'm trying to get something put up so that this doesn't die, and that's probably the most difficult part, is getting started and getting content up. This is my garage. I'm Steve. I've started this. This is Steve's Classic Garage. And this has been a long time in the making. I have been waiting years and years and years to get this done, starting with the slab that I had poured to the building that I had gotten built here. So I've nothing fancy, 30 by 40, 3 bays, that little half bay on the end there is supposed to serve as a workspace, versus the center bay eventually will have a lift in it at one point in time. I got too close to the camera there. But I'm Steve, Dublin, Georgia, went to West Lawrence, all that good stuff. I know a lot of people probably got my Facebook thing when I added it. When I made that, I clicked upload contacts, so I mean, there's a lot of people that probably actually know me from work, but this is going to go to the YouTube channel and my Facebook, so I have never done a video before for Facebook or any of this crap. I've done some live videos, but this is an off-the-cuff video. Normally I'm more prepared, and I would have a notepad and I would give you the whole spiel. But in order to get this content up to date, because I had enough free time when I got home, and even my buddy come over and he said, "How did you get home so early? You're never home." And I was like, "Well, it just worked out that way today." I'm gonna give you about me. Born here, raised here, lived here all my life, and I know what it's like when you're trying to get anything for classic cars done. You go to a body shop, they say no, they'll quote you an astronomical price, which is totally fair because they pay so much per hour and it takes so many hours of labor to get this done. And what I'm hoping is, because I know the new high school doesn't have any shop classes whatsoever like that I was taught when I was in high school, and that has really limited a lot of people's ability and opportunity to be engaged in car culture. I mean, you have people that are coming out of high school that don't even know how to change a tire. They don't know how to drop the spare tire on their vehicle, get it out, throw it on there. And as I've always been told, well, you call a guy for that. That goes against one of my core philosophies, is you should take care of yourself and know how to do things and not have to call a guy. I get it. Sometimes you just have to call a guy because it's something that's way out of your skill set, or it's a tool that you don't have, or anything that, you know, could keep you from doing it yourself. And as I've learned, and people don't believe this, but people in general are incredibly robust. And when I say that, is I'll talk to somebody and they say, "Well, I don't know how to do that." And there are so many YouTube videos, access to information nowadays, books. I mean, you name it. You might not know how to do it, but you can pick up your phone and it will tell you how to do it. And of course, I don't mean anything like safety related. So, you know, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to pull this 480 breaker out of the wall and we'll poke around with a screwdriver. Nah, that you might want to leave to the professionals. But as far as body work, changing a tire, changing your own oil, just give it a try. And you might realize that there's no mystery of the universe to it. It's a pretty simple or fairly common task if you don't mind getting your hands dirty. I mean, as you can see, mine are a little bit dirty. I've been cleaning up as soon as I got home, and I pondered on it for a great deal of time before I started to make this video. And I apologize, it's a filler word, and I don't want to be saying that. But I want to engage with people. I want to give people the opportunity to get into car culture and to learn about it. And that's the whole reason that I've started this, because not everybody has access to a shop, not everybody has access to a concrete pad, and you would be surprised how many times I would have just been thankful to not been rolling around in the dirt and just had a concrete pad to work on, even if it was in 120-degree Georgia sun. So I built this shop, and my main goal is to, like I said, reinvest into the car culture and get more people involved with cars that might not have the opportunity to take a high school elective where they can be involved in cars. You know, I mean, sure, you could go to the VOTEC, but then, you know, you're having to pay out money for that, and it might not be something that you're interested in. Or you may have a classic car, and just what it's going to cost for you to pay somebody to do that type of work for you is just going to be super restrictive, and it's not in your budget. I don't want to see that thing sitting there rusting away. I would rather see it on the road. And what this is for me, this is a hobby. This is like a Saturday, Sunday type deal, because I work a full work week, being Monday through Friday. A lot of times I will leave Monday and not come back till Thursday or Friday, and then leave again and then come back. And what I'm trying to do is open an avenue of opportunity for people that want to learn or want to be involved in car culture to be involved. Because especially in a small town like where we live, it's a more rural community, we have plenty of farms around, but we don't have a lot of hands-on activities other than a couple of other things that you could do that aren't really productive. I mean, like I said, this is a hobby for me. I'm not going to undercut any shop or anything like that. And I've realized that a lot of services, like I've got a sandblaster in there. I sandblasted the cab of my truck. I posted up, hey, I could sandblast stuff. I put one ad up, like one little ad with one picture, a few words, hey, I could sandblast stuff. And I had a crushing response. Like, I still get messages, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? I had a guy ask me about a Corvette. You can't sandblast fiberglass, so just putting that out there. You can sandblast the frame and all, but if you have to pop the body off, bring me the frame, and then we can sandblast it. And, you know, people don't have access to this type of stuff. I mean, there's a significant cost factor involved with owning a shop, a building, lots of tools, everything you need. And what I'm wanting to do is just open up this opportunity to a lot of people. So hopefully I'll be sandblasting a 72 Cutlass convertible this weekend, I believe, if the weather holds out, because, I mean, evidently I do not want to blast it inside of the shop and get dust all over all of my tools and inside of every motor and everything that's in there. I would much rather just lay some tarps down and do that out here as I've done with my cab. But, and realistically, when I do this type of stuff, I'm just charging basically for my time. I'm not doing a lot of overhead, which is, people may say, well, you know, a professional shop, I believe somebody had told me, charges $100 an hour for sandblasting. And I get that. They have a building, they have overhead, electricity, all of the tools and equipment and media that they've invested themselves in. And I'm really not looking for that. I'm just looking for a little bit of return on my time when I do stuff like this, as well as to engage with people to help better our own community. So, and as I've stated, I mean, this is subject to change, of course, is I've been offering my services of sandblasting at, you know, $30 an hour, just a flat rate, and then $10 for every 50 pounds of media that I use, and that's really, really fair considering what media costs. And but I hope that we'll get busier and busier, because I'm picking up and I'm getting stuff left and right. I actually had somebody earlier, you know, actually I've had more than a couple of people ask me to restore their classic trucks, and I don't want to be a buzzkill or a bummer for anybody. Yes, I can do it, but the time it would take me to do it, because I'm only getting about 20 hours a weekend to do this. That's 2 10-hour days on top of everything else that I do with my other full-time job that actually provided this for me, and I'm very, very thankful for my company. They're a great company, and I love working for those guys. They're awesome. But I do apologize. My shop is a mess. There's all the body parts for the truck I bought. My Kubota's over there. I've actually got to look at a fuel line problem on it. It's got a little bit of a leak. Shouldn't be nothing too bad. I think it's just the hose is loose on the barb. Maybe I put a spring clamp on it, or take the spring clamp off and put a worm drive on it. But then again, my main goal right now is I just want to see everybody succeed. I want to engage with people. I want to answer questions. I want to talk to the community. I want to get information that I need to make things work, because I don't know everything, and I know there's somebody that knows more than I do, and I want to talk to you. Trust me. And then hopefully I can gain some knowledge from you and pass that on to somebody else. And just for an example, I've got this frame here. It was just shredded and chopped to pieces. So I went and bought another frame, but it ends up that frame's got a lot of damage too. So I'm gonna have to stretch this frame back out, fix whatever these guys have done to it, and then go from there. I got to figure out what kind of rear end I need, how wide it needs to be, how to set all that stuff up, and build up from there, because it's got a Mustang 2 suspension coming and all that good stuff. But at the same time, if somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, I've got this and I want to work on it, I don't have the time to work on it, I don't have the space, I'll try to work with you so we can get your project up and rolling. I ain't saying I'm going to give you a bay or nothing, but, if it's something simple and you're like, hey, I don't know how to change my brakes, I don't have enough money to pay somebody, can you please help me? Buy the brakes, bring them here, I'll work with you, we'll see if we can't get them changed out, I'll show you how to change them, and then you'll know from now on. Same thing with your oil and greasing ball joints, everything like that on your suspension. Or if I don't want to say I'll pull a motor and put a motor in, but if it come down to it and somebody really, really needed it and had a good reason, I would do my best to help you. And that's all, that's all we can do. Just do our best. But I want everybody to know that being in car culture, you don't have to be a master machinist, a master, body man or anything like that, master welder, any of that. You can be just good enough or good enough to get you to where you can pay somebody else to finish the rest of the work for you. And that's basically the only reason I'm here, is because I am not a master in anything, but I can do very, very good work, and if it's something I've never done, I can learn. Or I can hire out a professional for that job. And there's a couple of things that I want to go over, and there's been little blurbs and little blog posts that I want to cover, such as, how to do a self-assessment and take your own skills as a person and apply those, or know what you're capable of and what you are not capable of. I have never done a rear end in my life. I can't tell you that I would be able to set one up or do anything like that. I think I could, but I've never done it, and for the insurance that I get, I would rather pay somebody that's done it 100 times than try to do it myself and then, scrap an axle. At the same time, I've done a lot of body work, I've done some motor work, all kinds of stuff, and I have no problem whatsoever tearing into something to see what's wrong with it. So it's got to be for your comfort level and what you know how to do and what you can do effectively. That's all what we're trying to see and gather. The next thing is, if you don't have the money, then you're going to have to do a lot more of the manual labor yourself and get your mitts greasy. And that's just one of those things. How to select a project, what to look for. Not everybody's going to be able to afford a 67 Camaro, or 69 Camaro, Chevelle, or anything of that nature. Some of you will, some of you won't. And some of you might have something that's not even valuable at all, but it's valuable to you. It holds that sentimental value of your heart. And, you know, well, who's going to pour 10 grand into a body shop to restore a, like, 90 model pickup truck? Well, somebody might if they've got the money to pour in there because that was their first truck, or that was their granddaddy's truck, or their dad's truck. Anything like that, you know, and that's one of those things, you know, well, you don't have the money to do it. You can bring it here, we'll help you work on it, or we can negotiate something where I'll do the work and I'll get it done for you. It might not be, you know, a 2-week turnaround, but I believe in high quality work, like I said. And I'll treat everything as though I own it and the work is for me, so I hold it to that standard. And that's what I think every shop should do and every person should do, is they should do that type of work. But like I said, this has probably run on a little bit longer than it should have. I've got so much information. Like I said, I have notebooks filled with it inside that I want to get out there. This is just kind of an intro, and this is my shop, man. So, and I still have to get used to the camera, so off the cuff, and that's what it is. It's a Steve's Classic Garage, and I'm Steve.